Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be giving you my review for two pro wrestling events that happened in the past couple weeks. We got AAA TripleMania Mexico City and the crossover event that I was pretty much looking forward to. It's Impact Wrestling / New Japan Pro Wrestling Multiverse United 2. Two very interesting yet different shows, and I thought both were pretty entertaining in their own way. So, without further ado, let's do this. And first, we will be reviewing AAA TripleMania from Mexico City. It is the last leg for TripleMania. They take place over a couple months for a good part of the year. So this is the final leg of the event. And we kick off with 6-woman tag team action as Chic Tormenta, who is recently unmasked, teams up with Los Toxicas, in which we'll be talking about them again in a little bit, as they stand against Sexy Star, Dallas, and Lady Shotty. And honestly, this was a pretty fun Lucha Libre match. A lot of good back and forth. A little tough to keep track of because Lucha Libre doesn't really use tags in tag team matches, so one person rolls out, the next person can go in, which is interesting. It definitely creates a more interesting flow to a match. A lot of good back and forth, especially between the two powerhouses in Chic Tormenta and Dallas. And win-win comes with the ref, who is like son of the main ref, if I know this story pretty well, getting involved. I honestly forget how. I think he just stands in the way of a roll-up by the good guys, and then the bad guys roll up to pick up the victory, so your winners, Los Toxicas and Chic Tormenta. However, when the ref is celebrating with the heels, his father, who is also a referee, comes out and just starts whipping the heck out of him. And, honestly, fun little opener. No real stakes to it. Although maybe we'll see Chic Tormenta get a title shot in the future. We'll see. Next up is the Copa Beldar, which is a gauntlet / Royal Rumble type match, in which two participants start out, and then other participants join in as the match goes on. Elimination actually happens with over the top rope, which is traditional Royal Rumble, but also pinfall and submission, which is a little different, which I do like. Starting us off, we got Octagon Jr. and Aramis. Starts right off, right out of the gate. Lot of good Lucha Libre action, including a nasty cutter from the top rope. Third man in is Laredo Kid. Been seeing a lot of him on Impact. Good to see him back in general, because he was out for a long time with a scary injury. He gets right into it with both men, mostly Ares. Next man in is Aramis. Next man in is Ares, who is one half of the AAA Tag Team Champions. And he goes pretty much right after Laredo Kid. Next man in is actually Ares' tag team partner, Comandor, who immediately does his rope walk, does an insane DDT off the top, which is just... I can't understand how good this guy is. Next up, previous Copa winner, Mr. Iguana, of course with his stuffed lizard toy, into a shining lizard and then a bulldog, which that bulldog was rough looking. Next in is Clown, the first powerhouse of the Copa, and he just immediately takes over. At one point everyone does try to dump him over the top rope, but he powers out. Then there's an unofficial entry. La Hydra of Los Toxicas comes out. It looked like Clown was about to eliminate Mr. Iguana. That leads to a distraction where Mr. Iguana tries to get the Clown over the top rope. He fails and he gets eliminated himself. Next man in is actually Clown's tag team partner, Dave the Clown. And he throws a cream pie into the face of Ares, which never seen that one before. And then it's just good old Lucha Libre action, trying to get the two big guys out, but they power out. Next man in is Nino Hamburguesa, another pretty big lad, although he does some good Lucha Libre things on his own. Goes immediately after the big guys, including a couple of cannonballs, which, taking a cannonball from him, that'd be nasty. Next man in, of course, is Willie Mack. He does his little dance-off thing, it's always fun to see. Then he gets right into the action with a couple of arm drags, which is dang impressive. We got our next man in. It's supposed to be Pagano, but he is attacked on the stage by El Texano, Tejano, I believe his name is, who recently, announced his team up with Black Taurus as Los Mercenaries. I do not know the word for that. And he takes them to the limit. Kendo sticks, chair shots. At one point, they set up a couple of tables, kind of right near the ramp. Take a forklift up with Tejano tossing Pagano off the forklift through the two tables, which is absolutely insane. About that, Ares hits a frog splash and eliminates Hamburguesa. And then the Clowns take over for a little bit. This brings out a 450 splash by Commander, and Mystices is eliminated. And that's when the feed goes dark for me, because while we did hear audio, the video cut out, so I definitely missed a couple of eliminations. When it came back, it was down to 2. It was down to Laredo Kid, and I believe it was... I forget who it was. Anyway, after some high-speed moves, your winner, Laredo Kid, who wins the Copa. So, hopefully that means Laredo Kid is in for a push for a little bit. But for now, I'm happy he got a victory. Next up, we got the Reina de Reinas title on the line. This is AAA's women's title, as Taika Valkyrie takes on Flammer. Now, Flammer won a mask versus mask tournament. She was the one who beat Cheek Tormenta, and from then on, she was pretty much considered the number one contender. But Taya has been, out of the country. She's been in MLW. She just signed with AEW. So now Taya pretty much says, yeah, let's do this now. And honestly, this was a pretty fun match. A lot of good power stuff from Taya Valkyrie. Flammer, of course, with Los Toxicas at ringside, running interference. After a Road to Valhalla, in which Flammer kicks out at 2, which I haven't seen that before. And then she hits a curb stomp, a chair shot, and then a pile driver. And your winner, and new Reina de Reinas champion, Flammer. So, congratulations to Flammer. Long may she reign. Next up, we got a couple legends going at it in this next match as Nacho El Millonero, who is the original Psychosis, which is very, very interesting, takes on Negro Casas, who has previously been a CMLL guy. This is kind of his first run in AAA. And, this was kind of a basic match. Like, lots of interference spots from the 2 seconds, in which one of them was a battle rapper in Mexico, which is strange, but whatever. Definitely lots of lots of weapons being used, including kendo sticks, chairs, thumbtacks, which is just including a spot where Casas takes off El Millionero's boot and stomps his foot into the thumbtacks, which is just, don't like it. And then after hitting his finisher, your winner, Negro Casas, finally getting his TripleMania moment, which I don't know if that's a thing, but it should be. Next up, it's the first of 3 Fatal 4-Way matches. This one is for the vacant Latin America title, as QT Marshall takes on Pentagon Jr., Dralistico, and Tejano Jr. Now, Tejano is a last-minute replacement. It was supposed to be Brian Cage, but on Rampage, he got hurt. So, that's why there is a replacement. And honestly, this match was pretty darn good. It pretty much broke down to the Luchadors versus the 2 heels, Tejano and QT. Penta, near the end, Penta goes for the Penta driver. QT rips off Penta's mask. So Penta's just trying to hide his face, hide his identity. And then a roll-up. So your winner, new Latin America champion, QT Marshall. And what was a fun and kind of different match for AAA. Considering, well, let's face it, QT isn't exactly Lucha Libre. But that's okay. Next up, we got the Mega title on the line as El Hijo del Vikingo takes on Speedball Mike Bailey, Impact Zone. Daga making his AAA return, although he's been back for a while. And Jack Cartwheel, who, if you don't watch GCW, he is a very, very athletic person. And honestly, this was just a beautiful love letter to Lucha Libre. A lot of good stuff coming out of this. But after a 6:30 splash, your winner, still Mega Champion, El Hijo del Vikingo. And finally, we got our main event for AAA. And it's Mask versus Hair. Now, in Tijuana, these four men actually teamed up. It was Sam Adonis and Psycho Clown taking on Roosh and LA Park. However, the match was pretty much thrown out, where was it the losers or the winners moving on? I think it was supposed to be the winners were moving on to this match, hair versus mask, where the loser would either get their head shaved or their mask removed. So, match ended up being thrown out, and this match is the final for the tournament. So, like I said, it's Sam Adonis taking on Psycho Clown, taking on Roosh, taking on LA Park. And the violence starts right on the ramp. Doesn't even get in the ring at first. Eventually it does. A lot of use of weapons in this one too, honestly. And it's brutal. But your winner, after a super Spanish fly, Psycho Clown, who pins Sam Adonis. Who post-match, Barber comes out, starts shaving his head. He cuts a promo saying how Mexico has become his second home, and he plans to take over pretty soon. So, it doesn't look like Sam Adonis is going to face any kind of repercussions for having his head shaved. So, we'll see what goes down from there. And that's TripleMania. A pretty fun show. A little different from what I'm used to, but I'm okay with that. Next up, we got the Big Ode crossover. And honestly, if you missed this show, you kind of missed out. Because it was very, very entertaining. You got Impact Wrestling teaming up with New Japan Pro Wrestling for their second ever Multiverse United show. The first one was actually this past WrestleMania, which was very good. Anyway, we kick us off with the X Division / Junior Heavyweight Scramble match. And we have Chris Sabin taking on Kevin Knight, taking on Frankie Kazarian, taking on Bushi, taking on Yo, taking on Rich Swann, taking on Mao, who is actually a DDT guy, taking on El Desperado. And honestly, this was pretty much the continuation of AAA, but with X Division and Junior Heavyweight guys. They're flying every which way to Sunday. Lots and lots of fun. At some points, Kazarian was trying to get the chicken wing in. That gets blocked. Plenty of cutters, right, left, right, and center. But eventually, Sabin gets in, hits the cradle shock. Your winner, Chris Sabin, in what was a fantastic opening bout. But next, Desperado comes in. No, it is Bushi. Bushi comes in. Looks like he's showing respect to Sabin. Missed it right in Sabin's face. And, they walk off. Definitely an interesting way to go. I do hope Bushi maybe sticks around Impact for a little bit. I think that could be fun. But overall, very fun opening bout. Next up, we got honestly what I thought was pretty much match of the evening. Although that's just me. You have TMDK, which is being represented by Shane Haste and Zack Sabre Jr., which is awesome, taking on the kind of reformed Franken team of Moose and Eddie Edwards. This match was absolutely fantastic, especially with Zack Sabre Jr. and Eddie Edwards in there. Talk about dream match. Excuse me. Although then, when Moose got in, he continued the momentum. Shane Haste overall is fantastic as well. Trying to outpower Moose, but that gets thwarted pretty much right away. But then after some combination moves from Eddie Edwards and Moose, including an enziguri right into a spear, your winners, Moose and Eddie Edwards. Which, honestly, again, tons of fun match. A match that had zero right to being as good as it was. Definitely testament to all involved. Speaking of testament to all involved, we got the first of 2 title matches going down as the Strong Women's title is on the line. As Julia, making her United States debut, takes on Deonna Purrazzo, Giselle Shaw, and Momo Kongo. I do hope I'm pronouncing that right. And honestly, this is my first time seeing Julia. I don't watch much Stardom. And personally, she really impressed here, especially going one-on-one with Purrazzo. But I think the MVP of this match was Momo Kongo. She was absolutely high-flying. She was absolutely excellent. But after a Northern Lights bomb, which I haven't seen that in a good couple years, your winner, still Strong Women's Champion, Julia. And then post-match, Momo jumps Julia, but then Julia hits her with the glorious DDT, I guess. So, hopefully we see more of Julia in the near future. I'd love to see her again, just literally anyone on the Knockouts roster. Next up, we got Doki versus Sami Callihan. And before the match can start, Sami Callihan grabs a microphone. He says, "While this show has been a lot of fun so far, something's been missing. Something that has been famous in Philly for years. Doki, I want to make this match a South Philadelphia street fight. What do you say?" And Doki pretty much agrees, striking Sami Callihan right away. And this match was just absolute controlled chaos. Lots of chair spots. There was a ladder spot, which was nuts. Doki kicked out of a Cactus Driver 97, which was absolutely insane. But after a little while, Sami Callihan hits the Cactus Driver once again. So, your winner, Sami Callihan, in what was a different enough match to really stand out on this show. Next up, we got a very, very underrated match as other representatives from TMDK. You got Robbie Eagles and Fujita. I forget his first name. I do apologize. Taking on Catch-22, who are representatives of the United Empire. You have TJP, former X Division champion, and Francisco Akira, who this is my first time seeing him. And honestly, these teams absolutely impressed. This was a kind of X Division-esque match. Like, very high-flying, very fast, but well-paced. And at certain points in the match, the Philadelphia crowd chants for Robbie Eagles because, the Philadelphia football team is the Philadelphia Eagles. So, Philadelphia crowd having some fun with that. Love to see it. Lots of good back and forth between the two. But, end of the day, your winner via the knee, which is a double knee strike, which is interesting. Catch 22-2. It was a very, very fun match. And I think it was a last-minute addition, which, yeah, great to see it. We then get our only interview of the evening, although I think it was from the previous night, where Mike Bailey participated in the All-Star Junior Heavyweight Tournament, which Mike Bailey won, and he, in this promo, pretty much challenges Tanahashi for his Junior Heavyweight title in the near future. So, that should be one to look for. Next up, a 12-man tag team match playa. We got PCO, Josh Alexander, the team of Tama Tonga and Tamaloa, the Gorillas of Destiny, the DKC, and ELP, that's El Fantasmo, taking on pretty much the full might of Bullet Club. That's David Finlay, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Clark Connors, Kenta, and I'm forgetting someone else. Shoot, I forget his name. I'm sorry. And honestly, this match was just absolute chaos. Brawls breaking out everywhere. PCO hitting a PCO assault, which that looked gnarly. And then after a powerbomb by David Finlay, your winners, of course, Bullet Club. Now, post-match, there is a bit more of a brawl. That gets broken up by officials. Tama Tonga, Tamaloa, and ELP biding their time for their next shot at Bullet Club. Next up, a very, very interesting tag team match playa as Speedball Mike Bailey and Junior Heavyweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi take on Trey Miguel and Leo Rush, the X Division champion. And honestly, this was another pretty much well-paced X Division style matchup. Everyone got their good stuff in. Mike Bailey actually hits an Ultima Weapon from Takahashi having his opponent on his shoulders, which that was awesome. Lots of back and forth, lots and lots of good stuff from this match. Tanahashi goes for the time bomb, that gets countered. A low blow by Leo Rush, a roll up. So your winners, Trey Miguel and Leo Rush. Post-match, Leo Rush gets a microphone. He says, Takahashi, there's been a change in the air. I'm not the same man I was. I'm not the same man I was the last time we met. I'm champion, and I'm looking for some more gold. So I want that junior heavyweight title. Takahashi pretty much accepts. He keeps inviting Leo Rush in the ring. Rush and Trey Miguel walk off. And then Mike Bailey, looking a little dumbfounded on his face, because was supposed to be next in line, so it looks like he's getting jumped in line. And he ultimately leaves the ring on his own, without his partner. So, interesting end to that little matchup. And fine a la Mo. We got our main event of the evening for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship as Alex Shelley takes on his teacher, the man who mentored him while he was in Japan, the ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. And honestly, this was back and forth. both men picking a body part and working on it so that they can get their finish in. At near the end, Tanahashi gets Shelley in a cloverleaf, but he can't get it fully on because he hurt his arm. Then finish comes via the super kick and the shell shock for the win, and still Impact World Champion Alex Shelley. A very, very underrated match that I think you guys should check out. So, that is it from me for today. I hope you all enjoyed. So, this week, the weekly content comes back. So, Friday, I'll cover Raw. I believe we're getting a Power this week. It might just be a recap show. AEW Dynamite. Impact Wrestling, because they got another show coming up. And MLW Fusion. So that'll be Friday. I'm thinking Wednesday I do my predictions for this big weekend of wrestling. So Saturday, solo show, NWA 75th Anniversary Night 1. Should be a fun one. Then on Sunday, it's a jam-packed night. We've got AEW All In from Wembley. That should be a good one. NWA 75th Anniversary Night 2. Should be another good one. And Impact Wrestling Emergence. So, that's going to be interesting to see. I am going to try to get the rest of my review for the week out on either Sunday or Monday. Obviously, I'm not going to watch everything on Sunday. Probably just going to stick with All In on Sunday. And then Monday, I'll probably watch Night 2 of the 75th Anniversary. Tuesday, watch Emergence. So, that'll be covered. So, and like I said, Sunday, I'm going to try to get to you the rest of the week with wrestling. So, Ring of Honor, SmackDown, and Rampage. No Collision, because that's going to be taking time from NWA 75 Night 1. Alright, I hope you guys are ready for this week. I am too. And until next time, happy wrestling, everybody.